right, so let's just settle into our meditation posture and just check your mind. Sort of all recovering from the busyness of the weekend, from Thanksgiving. So probably been around lots of people, lots of shopping, kind of overstimulates the mind. Then the things that come that you bought that maybe you need to take them back. So it takes a lot of kind of energy. This is all apart from the food shopping. And then everybody's probably starting to think about Christmas. So let's just try and bring our mind to the same place our body is. And try and get in touch with a little bit of internal stillness. Just noticing all the busyness that's going on around in the mind, or the tiredness, or whatever. But just notice this internal stillness that we have, that you can sometimes get in touch with. This is your home. This is always going to be there. That is there for you. It's always going to be there for you. But all this other extraneous stuff, opinions, etc., it's exactly that. You can let it drop away. So check your body, your sitting position, make sure your spine is aligned. And relax, and just lengthen that spine. Head is a little bit tipped forward. And as my chiropractor encouraged me to do today, is imagine you have like a crayon sort of attached to the back of your head. And imagine you're just very gently drawing a line up and down on the wall behind you. So that is the angle at which you're tipping your head forward. This is the place where you're tipping your head forward. So the movement is not allowing the head to drop. You're just allowing, you're hinging basically from the base of the skull. So let's bring our attention to the crown and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, your whole face, the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders, shoulder blades. Relax the throat and the chest. Just let your belly go, and the limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes, and bring the mind to the breath. Noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Those very subtle sensations of the air. And if there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. And try not to engage with them or follow them with your mind. And then bring the mind back to the breath. And just notice what thoughts are arising. All coming from this place of stillness. Just observing quietly, without judgment, without any kind of panic, criticism, negative self-talk. Just allow the thoughts to arise. Maybe there are happy thoughts. Maybe you have blissful thoughts. Just notice what's there. Like an objective observer. And being aware also that all of this can change in a moment. But what doesn't change is this stillness that is inside you. So bring the mind back to the breath. And think of all those people in your life. So you probably had many people in your life over the weekend. Some more than others. So perhaps you've been in touch with people that you haven't seen for 3 years, COVID. And maybe these people are people you love very, very much, very dearly. They're very close. You have good, constructive relationships with them. And then there might be people in your life who you have relationships maybe a bit more toxic, difficult. And then there's complete strangers. We don't really care about them, nor do we take much notice. The one good thing to remember is that these relationships are impermanent and fragile. They can change over time. So we need to be particularly grateful for the ones where our relationships are healthy and supportive and they're full of love. It takes kind of merit, so we should never take it for granted. And then the way to think is a little bit more equally about everybody, so we don't have this over-exaggerated view of the people that we don't like particularly, because it just creates anger in our mind, and the only person it damages is us. So thinking about equanimity is actually kind of healthy for us. So we start with thinking that everybody is equal in their wish to be happy. Kind of brings it all back down to earth. And that everybody is also equal because they wish to be free from suffering. Very simple. And then everybody else is equal. Everybody's equal because they all have this unbelievable capacity for an enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening, this purification for the benefit of all these people of our lives. And think about Andrew, think about him, and think about everybody on the island of the big island in Hawaii. Some people are actually fairly afraid. So just remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we can change that by creating positivity with our mind. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being in this day or in this life and any past lives. You can think of specific actions of the body and the speech. And we're doing this, regretting based on this logic of karma, cause and effect, our past actions. Having harmed others, we will experience suffering in the future. So it makes sense that we pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think like this: a regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I don't want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. So think, okay, what can I do about this? Who can I turn to? So we rely upon the Buddha, the doctor, Vajrasattva, who has the methods that we can use to purify ourselves. So we're not looking to a higher power. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. We can use this as medicine. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also think that this is your teacher, your guru, if you have one, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. You can imagine he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. There's this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and shaped like lotus petals, full of love and compassion for you and equally all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. Their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. We also think of someone you've harmed recently or maybe in the past, and develop a wish for them to be free from suffering. and then also people who've harmed you, because the suffering they've caused you is going to ripen for them in the future. So have compassion for them because of that. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of remedy, and this is the actual practice of purification. This is the medicine we take. So we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, very forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And so the next is the purification of your speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body. Except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip, the harsh speech, the lying, and talking about people behind their backs, useless speech, just careless talk. All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine that you can only be of benefit to others now with your speech. So everything that comes out of your mouth is somehow of benefit to somebody else's mind, including your own. So the next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart, and this arcs around and enters you through your crown. So you can just imagine it's like when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light, that light instantly dispels the darkness. So that light's instantly dispelling the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and grasping and depression and anger and bitterness and grudges and jealousy and all those kind of weird emotions that we have. Somehow always getting us into trouble. So imagine it's all completely dispelled by this mantra and this light. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all of the delusions, which are the cause of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, gone. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and wisdom and bliss and compassion and creativity and intelligence and groundedness. So next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So imagining that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and a couple of mantras for each of those visualizations we've just done, if you wish, body, speech, and mind. Or just imagine light and nectar pouring in, filling you completely and eradicating even those very subtle imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. So again, a very crucial and powerful part of this practice is to make a decision to refrain from harming. Because unless we do that, we're just going to keep repeating the same habits. So we have to decide we're going to try and stop doing something, whether it be gossiping or eating too much or allowing ourselves to get carried away with ruminating and negative self-talk. So think of something that you've been working on, bring it to mind and make a determination between now and tomorrow. You're going to work on it for as little time or as much time as you can. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech, and mind and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So Rinpoche does recommend a little meditation on emptiness. So just thinking, in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just try and place your mind there for a moment. You can perhaps think of all phenomena are empty, not existing from their own side. And then think of perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification practice to all those sentient beings of your life. And think, may the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O Tub Shu Chang Jin Jam Gan Galloway, Tenzin Kyang Pelaway, Kunzo dog porze, dog some kurwe leg mon to drug, pa dog sog dulje, gon du jab ten shok. Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And Pageshi Sherab, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody. Thank you so very much. Thank you for hosting, Mary. And I will see some of you tomorrow morning. All right. We'll go back to doing a little maybe mantra counting and deity practice tomorrow morning, I think. All righty, everybody. Good night. Sleep well. Lots of love. Thank you so much for coming. All right.
Thank you, Venerable
Good night,
Katy.
everybody.